What's going on, guys? It's the end of October. The water temp's 49, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and the crappies are really starting to school up. This is one of my favorite times of the year to find and catch crappies. They're really bunched up and you can find some really big fish. So I'm going to show you our tactic. We have a 1-2 punch, the way we find these fish, catch the fish while we're locating them, and then if it's a school we want to fish, a way we can kind of pull off and start picking it apart from a bit of a distance. First thing we're doing is we're running our sonar units and we're just gonna boat around the lake. Crappies this time of year are in like the deeper pockets and bodies of water. So often if you're like trying to pick a body of water to fish, it's a good idea to pick one with fewer pockets. It's just less places the crappies can hide. But if you're fishing larger bodies of water, you just look around, find the deeper pockets, and just use your sonar imaging to locate fish. Crappies are kind of made for sonar. They hang really high off the bottom. They're easy to distinguish. And then while we're doing that, while we're searching, locating, and finding fish, we're just using a jig. These are VMC tubby jigs, tungsten, so they're really heavy. You can get them down. We're using light rods. This is a 7-foot or 6'9" light Noman panfish rod, and it's really light setups. We're using 4-pound braid. So we can get these jigs down, and then when we locate fish we think are maybe a nice school of crappies, we'll drop this down and we'll catch a few. What we're using is really small jig heads that are heavy. These are the VMC tubby jigs. They're a small jig that come with a good hook for rigging soft plastic. We're running tungsten so we can keep low profile, but at the same time stay heavy enough to stay vertical when you're locating and catching them. Keep in mind, deep is a relative term. So for some lakes that could be 14 feet, other lakes that could be 10, 20. And just to be safe, we're not fishing them in much deeper than, 20, 22, 24 feet. These are precious fish and just try and keep them healthy. There's my jig going down, you can see it. There's one coming up. And, oh, I missed him. I watched him hit it, girl. Sometimes when you see them bite it, you set too soon, eh? It's better to feel them. There he is again. Yeah. God, that time I waited. Beauty fish. Nice. We spent about the last 20 minutes searching around the lake, and we found them. Nice fish. We're gonna try to get on them a little bit better and see how many we can catch. We just spent about the last, 20, 30 minutes looking around. We found a school. We used the tungsten just jigs, no bobber on them at all, to find the schools that we want to catch. We found some nice fish, found some active feeders. And so what we did was we just pulled away from the spot. We threw a marker like 10, 20 feet off the school, pulled a few feet away and anchored. So now what we have is a marker out in the water, marking the school. We know to cast 10 to 20 feet to the left of the marker, and now we're anchored. So I have my slip bobber set up rigged. I'm gonna fire a cast and let's see how long it takes. Sinking down there. Oh my God, he's got it before I even hit the water. Oh. So good. This is a nice fish. How about that? Beauty October crappie. We'll let him go.
One of the keys when you're fishing with bobbers, got to remember your line's going out and then down. So as soon as you see your bobber go down, what a lot of folks do is they set and you miss. What you got to do is reel down till you actually feel the fish and then set. And you won't miss nearly as many as reacting just to the bobber. This is kind of cool. When they eat your bait like that, when they take it really deep, that tells you you've usually dialed right in on. If they're hooked on the lips, often, maybe a color change, maybe a slightly heavier jig or a lighter jig, but When they swallow it down like that, it means you're dialed in.
All right, so we spent the morning finding these fish, finding where they're located. We drove around using sonar and tried to pinpoint where they were. Found a few schools of fish, but we found one in particular that was large, active fish, so we dropped our marker, pulled just away slightly, and I have another one. So we put the marker out, anchored the boat so you can kind of stay a ways away from the fish, and then keep casting at them. That way you don't drop an anchor into the school and your boat's not hovering over them the whole time. You can really pick them apart once you find a school you want to catch and you're willing to hang out on that location for a little while. Drop your anchor, throw floats, and you'll have a heyday in the fall.